The first clue wasn't a missing €1,000,000. It was a single spreadsheet. One tiny formula. One number that refused to make sense. And by the time investigators understood why, a respected employee had lost her career. Another had lost everything she had spent 10 years building. And an entire multinational corporation was forced to admit that one woman's obsession with beating her colleague had nearly destroyed the company from the inside. But nobody, not the auditors, not the executives, not even the police, expected the investigation to uncover crimes stretching back nearly 4 years. Because what had started as simple workplace jealousy had quietly evolved into fraud, sabotage, identity theft, cyber manipulation, and corporate espionage. And the most shocking part? The woman responsible never wanted money. She only wanted one thing: to prove she was better than the colleague everyone admired. When Claire Whitmore joined Kronberg Industrial Systems in Frankfurt, she quickly became one of the finance department's brightest employees. She wasn't loud. She didn't seek attention. She simply delivered results. Deadlines were always met. Audits were clean. Executives trusted her reports. Clients requested her by name. Within 5 years, Claire had become the unofficial problem solver whenever financial discrepancies appeared. Her calm professionalism earned admiration across the company. Everyone expected her to become finance manager when the position eventually opened. Everyone, except Sophie Lang. Sophie had joined only 8 months after Claire. At first, the two women worked exceptionally well together. They ate lunch together, helped each other during quarterly reporting seasons, celebrated birthdays, even spent weekends hiking outside Frankfurt with a few coworkers. People described them as inseparable, until promotion discussions quietly began. Although management never officially announced a vacancy, rumors spread that Eva Schneider, the finance director, planned to retire within 2 years. Immediately, competition inside the department intensified. Claire ignored the gossip. Sophie embraced it. Every completed project became a contest. Every presentation became a battlefield. If Claire stayed late, Sophie stayed later. If Claire earned praise, Sophie found a way to outshine it. At first, everyone dismissed it as harmless ambition. Even Claire laughed about it. "She's competitive," she once told Nina Keller. "But that's okay. It pushes all of us." She had no idea how dangerous that competition was becoming. Months later, subtle incidents began occurring. Claire's reports disappeared minutes before important meetings. Presentation slides became corrupted overnight. Emails she never wrote were mysteriously sent from her account. Important files vanished from shared folders. Deadlines she had carefully tracked suddenly appeared missed. Whenever mistakes happened, someone else always noticed first. Usually Sophie. "Oh, Claire," Sophie would say sympathetically during meetings. "I fixed the report before management saw it." Or, "I noticed your spreadsheet had several errors, so I corrected them." Or, "I wasn't sure if you were feeling overwhelmed lately." Her words sounded supportive, but over time they planted dangerous ideas. Maybe Claire wasn't as reliable as everyone believed. Claire couldn't explain what was happening. She checked passwords, changed computers, reviewed her work repeatedly. Nothing made sense. Yet, somehow, mistakes kept following her. The stress began affecting her health. She slept poorly, skipped meals, lost nearly 7 kilograms within months. Even outside work, she couldn't relax. Friends noticed she had become unusually quiet. Her confidence slowly disappeared. Meanwhile, Sophie's reputation flourished. Executives praised her leadership. Managers appreciated her willingness to step in whenever Claire struggled. By the end of the year, Sophie had quietly become management's favorite. Exactly as she had planned. Or so everyone believed. Then came the first real victim, Nina Keller. The young accountant accidentally discovered that several payment approvals had been modified after Claire supposedly signed them electronically. Nina assumed it was a system glitch. She mentioned it casually to Sophie. The next morning, those approval records had disappeared entirely. Nina became nervous. She searched the system backups. Those had also been altered. Someone had deliberately erased the evidence. That was impossible. Only a handful of employees possessed access privileges capable of doing that. Claire wasn't one of them. Sophie was. Still, Nina kept quiet. She convinced herself she must have misunderstood what she had seen. 3 months later, the company announced something unexpected. An unannounced internal audit.
Routine.
Nothing unusual. At least, that's what management believed. No one imagined that routine audit would become the beginning of one of Germany's most shocking corporate crime investigations. Because buried inside thousands of accounting entries, auditors would discover a pattern.
Small.
Almost invisible, yet impossible to ignore once seen. It began with duplicated approval timestamps, then altered access logs, then financial records that had been modified exactly 12 minutes after Claire logged off for the evening. Every single time, the inconsistencies pointed toward something no one wanted to believe. Someone inside the finance department wasn't merely making mistakes. Someone was manipulating the company's financial systems and carefully making it appear as though Claire Whitmore was responsible. The auditors had no idea they had just uncovered the first thread of a web that stretched far beyond office rivalry. What they were about to expose would reveal forged identities, manipulated promotions, fabricated evidence, hidden financial fraud, and a campaign of psychological sabotage so meticulous that even seasoned investigators would struggle to understand how it had remained hidden for years. End of Chapter 1. Stay tuned for the next chapter. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest true crime stories and gripping investigations. What do you think? At what point do you think Sophie's ambition crossed the line into criminal behavior? Could Claire have noticed the warning signs sooner? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective, and let's discuss this story together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.